Hey guys, and welcome to episode 1 of my Out of the Park Baseball 22 Let's Play with the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers came through as the winning vote, I guess. There were a handful of people, I want to say 3 or 4, that asked or that recommended the Tigers. Nobody really wanted to see the Royals, so we're going to go with the Detroit Tigers. Couple of, and we'll go through all this, but they've got a couple of prospects in the minors that are prepared to come up, and I'm not going to take a World Baseball Classic job, so those can all just whatever. So we're going to play as the Detroit Tigers. Couple of prospects, couple of good pitching prospects specifically. Obviously, they got Spencer Torkelson, but a couple of good pitching prospects in Matt Manning and Casey Mize and Tariq Skubal to build around. But other than that, the cupboard is bare and the Major League roster is bad and we have no money. So there's a lot that's not good here with the Tigers. So episode 1 is, and this playthrough I think is going to go, I don't say it's going to go fast, but it's going to go faster, because what I want to do, and I did this with Out of the Park Baseball 21, is what I want to do is I want to rebuild the Tigers, I want to win it all with the Tigers, and then I want to immediately move on to whoever the next worst team is within this world, so that we don't start over with a new team every single Let's Play, and we're seeing the same players drafted and that sort of thing. So I want to just keep moving forward. So I figure what I'll do is this will be sort of the initial episode that will just be sort of a, here's the roster, here's what we're going to be doing, this is what we're going to be looking at, that sort of thing. And then I will play, and then offline I will play up to the first year player draft. So episode 2 will be a recap of the season up to the player draft and the player draft. The next episode will be up to the trade deadline. The next episode will be the end of the season. So each season will likely be 3 episodes and then a 4th for the off season. So 4 episodes per 12-month cycle, I guess is probably the best way to put it. And then that's probably how I'll do this. So at any rate, we have the Tigers, and obviously the single biggest issue that we have to deal with here is Miguel Cabrera. I have to just hope that he retires. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to make any moves from a salary perspective for years, because he's eating up literally almost half of our payroll. So let's jump in. Let's look at the finances and stuff first, since we're here. So you can see we have a 24th highest budget, $120 million, $80 million player payroll. We have just over $8 million for free agents, but nothing for extensions. Our market size is below average. Fan loyalty is poor. Fan interest is 37, and our ticket prices are just $16 because nobody wants to come see us play. Our scouting budget is really low. Our development budget is really low. We may just take the rest of this free agent money and dump it into here. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. The owner is lenient, controlling with his fiscal personality, so he's not going to give us any money, and he expects us to build up the team to reach the playoffs and to not suck completely. I don't know that that's going to be possible, but we'll try. So scouting, we need to improve our scouting. So let's bump scouting. We had $8 million, so that's about 2.5 each. So let's bump this to 10. So let's bump that to 10. Let's drop international scouting down. Drop major league scouting down. Bump up that, and that. So I want international and amateur to have the majority of our attention. Player development, we can bump this to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draft budget is high, and then see, this needs to be 5 because we can't, but I don't know that we're going to have the money to do that. I don't know that we're going to have the money to do that. So let's just bump this to like 2 2.5. The problem is if we do that, then we may as well drop this down because we're not going to be spending that much money. So we'll do this. So we'll go major, minor, amateur. Yeah. So how much does that leave us with? It still leaves us with 6 or 5.5. So we can put some of that into development. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I think the league minimum was 12, so let's just raise it to 12. Scouting. Baseline is 8. Okay. So we at 2 we'll leave it at 2.3. That's fine. Let's look at our personnel. So bench coach George Lombard, pitching coach Chris Fetter, Scott Coolbar, Ramon Santiago, and Chip Hale are our bench coaches. Scott Please is our scout, who's pretty good. And Doug Teeter is our trainer. He's poor at rehabbing others. He's unproven. I mean, I think we'll just stick with him because what he's good at, he's really good at. So, hopefully we can just avoid the leg injuries and we'll be okay there. Ramon Santiago. Actually, it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do staff roles. So Chip Hale is a legendary catching coach and an infield coach. We'll make Santiago our outfield coach, and Lombard will be our running coach. So we've got some good role setters, some that will hopefully work with our young players and make them better. Let's see, what else do we want to look at? Fetter has got doesn't have good relationships with really any of our pitchers. So I don't know that I want to hold on to him. What about our hitting coach? Our hitting coach has got excellent relationships with most of our batters. So we're going to hang on to Coolbaugh. I think we are going to terminate Chris Fetter. And Doug Bochtler. Same deal, not very good relationship. So let's look at available personnel, pitching coaches, and coach ratings. All right. Anybody who's young, Bruce Billings. That works. Good relationship with most pitchers, and he's young, so maybe he can grow into that. Oh, this is all new. I like this. I like the way this is set up. What about Conger? Yep, Conger's the way we want to go. Excellent relationship. Brian Conger will, assuming he wants to come, yep, he will be our new pitching coach. Excellent. All right, so let's take a look at the team. The team's not good. We'll start with the pitching staff. So let's just start with Matthew Boyd. We will be trading Matthew Boyd. 6.5 this year in arbitration, due to make like 7.5 next year. Extreme fly ball. We can't afford him. And he was really, really bad last year. 15 home runs in 60 innings, an ERA of almost 7. Daniel Norris is another one we're likely to move on from. He was pretty good last year as a reliever. But again, making nearly $4 million, and we need to be looking to make less than that. Erasmo Ramirez is just terrible. Had some pretty good numbers last year in only 14 innings, but terrible stuff, terrible movement. 2 below average pitches. He's just awful, man. Tariq Skubal, one of our young prospects. Have to decide whether or not I want. He started last year, so we'll probably stick him in the rotation. It's a fly ball pitcher, which I'm not crazy about, but 4 great pitches, really good stuff. But part of that stuff is, oh no, he's listed as a starter. Good, so he's got good stuff. Julio Teheran came over. Oh wow, he was bad for the Angels last year. 0-4, 10.05 ERA. Wow. Has 4 above average pitches. He's making the minimum, but we'll probably look to move on from him. Tyler Alexander had a decent year last year. Really, really good control. Jose Cisnero was really good last year, actually. Put up almost a WAR in 30 games as a reliever. A couple of good pitches. Decent stuff. Buck Farmer. 30-year-old, another reliever who had a decent year last year. Michael Fulmer, a bit of a disappointment. He's somebody that the Tigers expected a lot out of. Has not performed, was awful last year, making $3 million in arbitration. We will be moving on from him. Brian Garcia, he's one of the best relievers we have. Good stuff. 3 really good pitches. Good leadership skills. Joe Jimenez, is he listed as a closer? No, he's just listed as a bullpen guy. 26-year-old. Again, basically your average pitcher, and he's an extreme fly ball pitcher, which I don't like. Casey Mize. We will be making Mize into a starter. And he will be starting for us this year. 6.99 ERA last year, but 4 really good pitches, good control, good stuff. Just needs to improve that movement a little. Gregory Soto, great stuff. 3 awesome pitches. He will likely be our closer. Jose Urena is actually listed as our closer. Started last year for Miami. We might make him into a starter. So that is our pitching staff. A couple of decent pieces on there, especially if you look at pitching potential. Mize, Skubal, and Soto, 3 decent pitchers there. But the rest of it is not great. And they're all players we can move on from, especially the ones that are making a lot of money. From a batting perspective, Grayson Grenier hit 118 last year for the Tigers. He was 6 for 51, but really, really good defensively, so he'll be a decent backup. Wilson Ramos coming over from the Mets in the offseason. Again, he's a decent bat, okay fielder, but somebody that is only on a 1-year deal, so we could easily look to move on from him. Miggy, what can you say about Miggy? He's one of the greatest hitters of all time, but those days are long gone, and he's now making $30 million a year at age 37. He can't field. He's a below-average hitter now. That's going to be an anchor. I hope he just retires. Renato Nunez, he's probably going to be, came over from Baltimore last year. He hit 12 home runs in 52 games. Decent bat there, making the minimum. I like that. Can play either first or third. Jonathan Scope. Had a good year last year for us. 8 home runs, 23 RBIs in 44 games. Plays a good second base. Has some good pop. Yeimer Candelario will likely play third base. Good bat. One of the best hitters in the lineup. 297 last year, 872 OPS, 1.2 WAR. Good gap power, some decent home run power. Yeah, middle of the order bat for us. Willie Castro, our starting shortstop. One of our best young players, hit 350 last year in 35 games, 932 OPS. He's likely to be our leadoff hitter at only 23. Another young bat. Nico Goodrum can play literally everywhere. Every infield, every outfield position except for catcher. You'll love that flexibility. Robbie Grossman will be our starting left fielder as he comes over from Oakland last year where he hit 241 with 8 home runs. Can play left and right. Will likely be our left fielder. Jacoby Jones will likely be our starting center fielder. He's selfish, though, and fragile, and making almost $3 million. Has a little bit of pop in his bat, good gap power, decent eye, good speed. Victor Reyes can play all 3 outfield positions, so he'll probably do just that. He'll probably play all 3 outfield positions, good speed, decent contact. Not a great hitter, but just okay. And Nomar Mazara coming over from the White Sox, where he had a miserable season. Will probably get the chance to start in right field. He's got a good arm. He's a good defender. Still has some potential left in the bat. And that is our starting, or not our starting lineup, but that is our roster. I guess our opening day roster. If we look at prospects, let's just filter up, make sure we get all this filtered by potential. All right, so obviously the big name is Spencer Torkelson. He was our first-round pick last season, number 1 pick overall, number 6 prospect in the game. I don't know where he's going to play yet, first, left, or right. He's listed as a right fielder, so we'll probably get him some time there. get him started in Toledo. Matt Manning, he won't be in AAA very long. He's a number 8 prospect. 3 awesome pitches. We'll be calling him up sooner rather than later, probably as soon as we move one of our starters. Alex Lang, another solid pitching prospect. He'll probably spend a little more time in AAA as he's not quite as developed. And then Isaac Paredes, he won't be down for very long either. He'll be up really soon. Good bat. He's okay defensively, not great, but just want to see a little bit more improvement out of that bat, I think. So we'll start him in AAA, see how he does there. Down in AA, Daz Cameron. If he can develop his contact, he'll be a starting center fielder. If he doesn't, he won't. He can already play it defensively, has the speed. Bat just needs to come along a little bit. Ronnie Garcia, is probably Ronnie Garcia, 23-year-old, pitched last year for us, didn't pitch particularly well, so he'll start the season back in AA. Riley Green, who was our first-round pick in 2019, power bat, left corner outfielder, high contact, high gap power, okay, home run power and discipline, but if he can be a high average, high extra base kind of guy, I'd be fine with that. Zach Hess. Where did we get Zach Hess from? Drafted in the 7th round. Pretty good numbers, but he's 24 in AA, so he's going to start to develop here shortly. Gage Workman down in low A. Good eye. Yeah, so we've got some prospects, which will make things easier, obviously. So that's the team. We've gone through the front office. We've looked at what we have from a number perspective. So I think now it's time to sim ahead to just before opening day, set our lineups, and call it episode 1. So let's go ahead and sim ahead. Okay, so we were able to sign Brian Conger, or not quite sign him, but he likes our offer, which is good. Okay, he agrees. So we have a new pitching coach, which is nice. Gets along well with all of our pitchers famously, which is all I care about. And I'm really excited to see how much the coaching staff impacts the teams. If that's something you actually need to spend time working on, I'm kind of looking forward to that. So it should be fun. All right, we're back. It's the day before opening day. And I just wanted to show you guys this, just so there are no questions. I have trading set to whatever the hardest thing is considered on the slider. Trading preference I have set to the middle, default, average, whatever you want to call it. And the reason I do that is because I feel like if you have a team that's in win now mode, they are willing to move prospects, even though they may favor them. They're willing to move prospects for players. Now, because I have it set on hard, I'm not going to get great prospects, but if I need to move a veteran for a prospect, I should be able to do it. That's realistic to me, so that's why I have it set up that way. But otherwise, everything is pretty. I have one rating set 1 to 100. The only change I made to the rules is I allow for the trading of injured players because I believe you can trade injured players in the majors. I don't know if that's necessarily accurate, but I have it set that way. And I have trading frequency set on low because anything more than that and you get tons of trades, and I'm not all that interested in that. So and you can see even set on low, there were a ton of trades. None of them were huge, but there were trades. Like here, the Indians traded for Trevor Story. Which, fine, but I don't want, hundreds of trades like that. So, Nick Sandlin, Aaron Bracho, and Josh Wolf for Trevor Story. Tommy La Stella traded from the Giants to Washington. Ian Kennedy on the move. Joakim Soria. Milwaukee traded for John Gray. couple of middling prospects. Braden Shoemake and Huskar Nyoa for Kevin Gaussman. So, yeah, there were a couple of decent trades. Let's look at the waiver wire. Just Roman Quinn. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we have to, I think we have to send a pitcher down because we had somebody, Spencer Turnbull was injured. He's no longer injured, so we got to send one pitcher down to the minors. I think it's going to be Erasmo Ramirez. Just get rid of him. He's so bad. All right, so we need to clear our pitching staff, and so we are going to start Daniel Norris. Is going to be our opening day starter just because he's, I guess, the most veteran. And then we're going to go Turnbull, then Mize, then Boyd, then Skubal. Nope, Skubal, then Boyd. So Norris, Turnbull, Mize, Skubal, Boyd. That means Tehran is going to be a reliever. Soto is going to be our closer. Tehran will be long relief / emergency starter. Urena will be long relief / middle relief. What are Alexander's ratings? Is he yeah, we'll make Alexander the specialist / middle relief. Brian Garcia is going to be set up along with Jimenez. And then Cisnero and Farmer will be middle relief. So there is our pitching staff, 14-man pitching staff. I don't know if I want 14 players on my pitching staff, especially since I only have 3 bench players. Do I have anybody in AAA that I could call up Paredes now. No, I think we'll stick with what we have for now. We'll stick with 14. I don't want to rush Torkelson, Manning, or Paredes. I want to leave them in AAA for now. So let's look at our lineups. Let's clear all the lineups, clear all depth charts. Contact potential. Willie Castro is our leadoff man. Batting second, Robbie Grossman. Batting third, Yeimer Candelario. Batting fourth, Jonathan Scope. Nomar Mazara batting fifth. Renato Nunez batting sixth and playing first. Batting seventh and playing DH will be Miggy. Batting eighth, Wilson Ramos, and then Jacoby Jones will bat ninth and play center. That leaves Victor Reyes out of the starting lineup, but it is okay. Yeah, they got him playing in here, and I'm fine with no. I want him playing a little bit more than that, I think. So he'll play 3 times, basically 3 out of every 10 games. So that's okay, I guess. So let's copy this, paste it here, and then take Cabrera out and do that. And then generate depth chart. Same thing here, 7, 8. Cool. So let's go to lefties versus DH, paste the lineup. Any changes I want to make. So do we have any? Okay, he can't hit lefties to save his life. Can Reyes? Not really, but he's better. So Reyes will come in and play for Mazara in right field there, and we got to move some people around. Nico Goodrum. He can't really either. Who else do I have in here that I want out against lefties? Grossman can hit lefties. I'm not taking Willie Castro out. I think we'll just stick with this. Jacoby Jones is pretty good against lefties. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, our lineup against lefties is actually pretty good. Let's copy the lineup versus lefties, paste it in here. Let's remove Miggy. And generate depth chart. That's fine. Is there anything else we need to do? How long have I been going for? I've been recording for 27 minutes. Is there anything else I want to look at here? I think... Oh, Fulmer. We got to do something with Fulmer. Just make him a middle. Yeah, we've got too many pitchers. I mean, 14 pitchers is unnecessary. So we are going to have to make a move there at some point. And I think the obvious move is Paredes. But he can only play third base. I think Harold Castro might be the better option because of his flexibility, but we'll give it a couple weeks. We'll see how it goes. See if any of the pitchers aren't getting any use at all, and if they aren't, then we can make that move. So I think, yeah. So I think that's where we are. So I think what I'm going to do now is it's going to be a bit of a shorter episode, as it's just kind of the reset of the season. So I'm going to call it an episode here. When we start back up, it'll be first year player draft time. And we'll go over the team. We'll look at how they're doing. We'll do the draft, and I think that'll be it. So, guys, I appreciate you watching as always. Especially with this being the first video of the episode or of the Let's Play. This is the one that's really important. This is the one that'll affect the algorithms. So, leave likes, leave comments, that sort of thing. And let's get this video out to the world, shall we? So I appreciate you watching, guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.